Harry is done. Can you expand on that?
He's tarnished by losing a case which has cost them at least £50 million in costs. For Harry now, it's downhill faster than he can imagine.
If we were a fly on the wall wherever he is, because he's certainly not staying in Kensington Palace, whatever Soho house he's probably in right now, is he pulling his hair out of what's left of it? Is he stressed? Is he angry? How is he going to respond to this? Did Harry really think he had a chance to win this? And as an observer, did you think, man, he might pull this off ever?
Well, I'm sure he thought he was going to win because the lawyers around him kept on encouraging him. And you've got to look at the role of the lawyers in all this. They've been on a gravy train earning tens of millions of pounds because of the action against the Murdoch empire and then against the Mirror Group. They won a lot of money. But this time, they thought they had it all sewn up because they had a concocted fraudulent statement and they didn't realize it was so phony. Until, of course, one wonders how they got it in the first place. But anyway, Harry was ensnared at Elton John's house in the south of France years ago to trust this group of lawyers and activists. And they were, in the end, the gravy train has come to an end. And Harry was used by them. And I don't think he realized until today the trouble he's in, because this isn't just a defeat in a civil case. This is Harry being exposed as not telling the truth under oath in the King's court. This is serious stuff. And of course, in public, he has been trained always to smile. We know from his book that the smiles are often faked, so he's faking it now. Meghan, stuck probably in Portugal, is wondering what's her fate as well. And I think the two of them now are in a desperate position because where can they go? They're not going to be welcome in Britain anymore. The King is not going to want to be at all in the same room with a man, his son, who has been labelled a liar today in the courts.
It's truly humiliating, is it not? It's humiliating.
What if Harry and Meghan's biggest problem wasn't Hollywood, wasn't the royal family, and wasn't even the British press? What if, according to royal author Tom Bower, the real reason everything seems to be falling apart has been staring everyone in the face from the very beginning? For years, Harry and Meghan appeared unstoppable. Multi-million-dollar Netflix deal, Spotify, Penguin Random House, Hollywood connections, global publicity. Yet only a few years later, many of those opportunities have disappeared. Their popularity has declined in several polls. Their business ventures have faced challenges. And following Harry's latest legal defeat, questions about their future have only grown louder. According to investigative royal author Tom Bower, none of this happened by accident. He believes it was the result of a series of decisions that slowly isolated the Sussexes from nearly everyone around them. Let's break down the 10 biggest reasons Tom Bower believes Harry and Meghan's downfall became almost inevitable. Reason 1. They left without a long-term plan.
It's more than humiliating. I mean, in the end, Meghan and Harry went to America to get their privacy, but to monetize...
LOL. The privacy.
to monetize their fame and all the rest of it. And they did very well at the beginning. Now it's ground to a halt, and they hope by coming to Britain this week with the Invictus Games in Birmingham, they could have a royal tour surrounded by police escorts, the whole thing, to restore their credibility. The opposite has happened. It's become, for them, an absolute nightmare. And I think it's really Meghan. He's under, I said in my book, Betrayal, that he was brainwashed by Meghan. And of course, he continues to be brainwashed.
Bower argues that leaving the royal family wasn't necessarily the biggest mistake. The bigger mistake was leaving without a sustainable strategy. According to him, Harry and Meghan expected Hollywood would immediately embrace them as global power players. Instead, they entered one of the most competitive industries in the world. Initial excitement generated huge contracts. Keeping those opportunities proved far more difficult. Bower believes the Sussexes confused global curiosity with long-term influence. Reason 2. Meghan misunderstood Hollywood.
The media is never going to ignore. I mean, after all, she posts every week 2 or 3 ridiculous photographs of herself and her children just to get attention. It's all ridiculous, and covering their faces and all the rubbish that she does.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she is a publicity fiend.
Yeah.
She is so hungry for publicity and recognition. So
will she leak the way that they've been leaking in the last few weeks about this specific trip?
I think that they will have a think whether it's going to financially
Benefit
profit them.
Yeah.
That's their problem. And I think much will happen in the way in which he is received for the rest of the week. I think that is his problem. Will the public still cheer and clap him as Great Harry with the children, or will they say he's
One of Bauer's strongest criticisms centres on Meghan's expectations of Hollywood. He argues she believed celebrity status alone would guarantee lasting success. But Hollywood is driven by results. Studios want projects that generate audiences. Streaming platforms expect consistent hits. According to Bauer, once early interest faded, the Sussexes struggled to produce the kind of content executives had expected. Reason 3. Harry lost his royal identity. Tom...
Absolutely. And I think what you described about Buckingham Palace's detailed breakdown is actually a matter of a breakdown of trust. The point about Harry was, can we trust him? And because of all the briefing and the reversals and all the somersaults, what they're really saying is, we cannot deal with this man. We don't trust the fifth in line of succession. Well, if that doesn't cast him into the wilderness, he'll notice in a few days how it will. And of course, you've got to remember one thing, the timing of all these things is always very interesting. When he announced he'd be coming with Meghan the children, he didn't realize that the following day, Ravek, the security commander, was going to announce that he wasn't going to get police protection. And it was very interesting that that was followed within 24 hours by the king saying he's not going to stay in Buckingham Palace. And, you know, the king knew. I mean, the palace knows what's happening in every part of our society. So they knew he was going to lose the case today. They knew that he was not going to get Ravek protection. They knew what he's playing at. And I think that is what you're seeing. They're distancing themselves. He was given a last chance.
Bauer often says Harry's greatest asset wasn't Hollywood. It was being a working royal. Inside the monarchy, Harry had purpose. Military charities, royal tours, Invictus, global respect. Outside the institution, Bauer argues Harry has struggled to define exactly who he is. Without the royal family, he believes Harry became just another celebrity competing for attention. Reason 4. The constant criticism of the royal family.
It has happened. It's become for them an absolute nightmare. And I think it's really Meghan. He's under, you know, I said in my book, Betrayal, that he was brainwashed by Meghan. And of course, he continues to be brainwashed by her. And he is actually, I think, by now at wit's end. He doesn't know what to do. He's been humiliated in London today. He's going to, for the rest of the week, try to restore some credibility. But in the end, he's going to fail. And Meghan was meant to come across and pose as the royal couple in Birmingham towards the end of the week, bringing the children, the whole thing. I think the king will be very, very wary of meeting Harry now. He'll say he hasn't got any space in his diary because Harry has shown himself to be a man of absolutely not only no judgment, but a person who is...
Another reason Bauer frequently mentions, Harry and Meghan kept returning to the same story. The Oprah interview, the Netflix documentary, Spare, multiple interviews, each project focused heavily on grievances involving the monarchy. According to Bauer, audiences eventually experienced what commentators sometimes call complaint fatigue. He argues people wanted to hear what Harry and Meghan were building, not only what they were leaving behind. Reason 5. Damaged relationships.
Hugely. I think the king and the monarchy has been hugely damaged by this case and by Harry's conduct. I think the judge who gave him a very sharp punch on the nose, followed by the king giving him a slap in the face by not having him at Buckingham Palace, because he realizes that Harry actually, throughout the last 5 years, whether it's an accusation of racism or all the stuff in his autobiography about the royal family and his father and his brother and Kate and Camilla and all that, of course it's been hugely damaging, and the popularity of the royal family has fallen because of Meghan and Harry's antics. So I think the king right now, his best bet would be to distance himself completely, make it clear to Harry that the Sussexes are not welcome at all in Britain for a very, very long time. And Harry just will have to reflect how he's going to reorganize the next few tens of years of his life. And of course, down the road is William. And we've got to remember, in the weeks leading up to this visit, all the briefing that the Sussexes did.
Unreal.
And you know, would he reconcile with William, where would his children come vis-a-vis their grandfather, and all that. And that was all fueled from Montecito. Well, that has all now gone sour. That's all now gone really bad for the Sussexes. So they have
what was the objective in them doing that?
Well, to get to resurrection, be the royal family, somehow find a way in which they could monetize themselves through being accepted again in Britain. But of course,
Bauer believes bridges were burned almost everywhere, within the royal family, with former staff, with friends, and according to various reports, even some Hollywood relationships cooled over time. Whether those relationships can ever be repaired remains uncertain, but Bauer argues rebuilding trust is far harder than losing it. Reason 6. Financial pressure.
The question now will be, Prince William now has got even more ammunition to say to his father, enough's enough. Let us get rid of this family. Let us even strip them of their titles. They're doing us huge harm, just in the same way as Andrew did. And I think the king now will realize that there's a lose-lose. Any association with Harry has got to be losing. But they'll take the temperature, I think, on Wednesday, early Thursday, see what the public reaction is before they make a final decision whether they're going to let Harry go privately to see his father or not, or what. I mean, you know, the palace is hopefully in tune. Yeah. They're not going to make a mistake, but they're going to be cautious. And Harry now is at the mercy of the grey men who he hated so much.
Recent reporting has focused heavily on Harry's legal battles, the reported legal costs, security expenses, maintaining their Montecito home, their overall lifestyle. Bauer believes enormous income requires enormous cash flow. If major deals slow down, the pressure only increases. According to his analysis, financial realities may now be shaping many of the Sussexes' decisions. Reason 7. Meghan became the public face.
Is Meghan the cause for all of this? As you watch Prince Harry blow up in front of the world, is Meghan to blame? Is she the instigator? Is she the bad influence?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Meghan is a source of evil. I've said it many years ago, and it didn't make me popular with some people, but she's bad because she only thinks of herself. She is only focused on self-promotion and self-aggrandizement, profits for her, doesn't care who gets damaged in the way, and has behaved disgracefully and has never made amends. And that is a problem, and has used Harry and abused the royal family. And I think that is really where, in that whole phrase, she's brainwashed Harry, she's now going to get it back in spades.
Wow. Oh, Tom Bauer. Oh, and if you...
One of Bauer's most controversial arguments is that Meghan gradually became viewed as the dominant figure in the relationship. He suggests Harry increasingly appeared to follow Meghan's direction rather than lead. Whether viewers agree or disagree, that perception has become part of public discussion, and perception often influences public opinion. Reason 8. Harry became isolated.
Behind releasing that in the first place, he looked so immature in that moment.
His misfortune is, and was, that you've got to always realize that lawyers have one vested interest, and that's earning money. And he was a money machine until today. when they've all lost money, and they lost a lot of money, his lawyers. And I think that is the point, that he's lost his advisors. He's lost what we used to call the grey wise men, who weren't always wise, but they were always grey.
Yeah.
But at least they gave some advice, you can consider it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that anymore because he can't even afford it.
You know, there's been a debate about whether his action...
Tom Bower has repeatedly questioned Harry's current support system. Far from Britain, far from lifelong friends, far from military colleagues, far from royal duties, he argues Harry now has fewer independent relationships than before. That isolation, according to Bower, makes it harder to recover when setbacks occur. Reason 9. Hollywood has moved on. Hollywood
is not going to be intimidated by the
cancel culture, yeah.
The cancel culture. So I think gradually the king has become much, more respected than he might have been. Mm-hmm. And he is, in fact, highly respected now, as is the Queen. And they had to fight hard to get to that. So I think the sympathy at the moment is all in their favour. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to let all their hard work. And you've got to remember, and they're not going to cause an argument with William and Kate, mm-hmm. who have absolutely no intention of in any way allowing the rehabilitation of the Sussexes here. So I think it's the royal family versus the Sussexes. And today, the royal family won. But in the end, of course, you can easily say nobody's won, because this battle in public is a catastrophe for the royal family. And that has been hugely damaging. And what they've said, and is all still on the record, has got terrible reverberations around the world. So the mystery of the royal family and the respect they commanded has been weakened by the Sussexes. The question is only, how do they rebuild William and Kate and the King and Queen, rebuild trust and respect? And the quicker the Sussexes leave Britain...
Hollywood rewards momentum. According to Bower, new celebrities arrive every year. New documentaries, new influencers, new stars. If you disappear for too long, the industry often moves on. He believes Harry and Meghan have struggled to remain culturally essential in an entertainment world that constantly looks for the next big story. Reason 10. Harry is beginning to regret the past.
Surrounded by very poor advisors.
Yesterday or the day before, because this has been a chaotic few days, someone has said, do you think Meghan will... We expected Harry to attend or to come out here solo, but the rumor was from Harry's team, Meghan might still meet him for the Invictus event on Friday. The kids would, might still come around the end of the week so that they could go to Althorpe to see the grave of Diana, because these two love nothing more than wearing the skin of this poor woman. But I said I did not think Meghan would attend with him on Friday if he lost this case, because she doesn't want to be on the arm of a loser. Is that a fair assessment, or do you think, Meghan goes where the flashbulbs are, so she'll show up on Friday?
Well, I think that she would have normally been there, because Invictus has always been her showcase event. Mm-hmm. Invictus was Meghan, whether it was in Vancouver or Düsseldorf or The Hague. That is where Meghan was able to star and revive her great image of the smiling Duchess. Mm-hmm. Now, I think people will say, what on earth is this woman doing here? Mm-hmm. On the arm of a man, as I say, exposed as a liar and having lost all that money. And he's got financial problems now. He's not covered by the insurance.
Perhaps Bower's biggest conclusion is that Harry may now be questioning decisions made years ago. Recent reports suggesting Harry wants closer ties with Britain, continued stories about possible reconciliation, and ongoing discussions about rebuilding family relationships have all fueled speculation. Bower believes these developments could indicate Harry now recognizes what he gave up. Whether that's true remains impossible to confirm publicly. But the speculation continues to grow. Tom Bower's critics say he's overly harsh. His supporters argue he's simply connecting the dots. Either way, the Sussexes now face questions few imagined just a few years ago. Can they rebuild their brand? Can Harry repair family relationships? Can Meghan reinvent herself in Hollywood? Or has the momentum that once made them global superstars finally run out? One thing is certain. The next chapter of Harry and Meghan's story may be the most important one yet.